there, I'm Julie Broad with RevNYou.com, and Patrick Riddle has sent me a bunch of interview questions that I'm going to be answering for you today. But first I wanted to tell you why I'm wearing red mitts. I am from Vancouver, Canada, and we're under a month away from hosting the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics. So I am showing my Olympic spirit by wearing my official Olympic mitts and my official Olympic Canada t-shirt. So just wanted to share that with you. So now on to his questions. His first question is, how would I describe myself in 140 characters or less? All right, next question. What is something that 99% of the population doesn't know about you? Well, I wrote a cookbook. It's called Breakfast with the Broads. I took all of the recipes that my parents have created and refined over years and years of running a high-end bed and breakfast on Salt Spring Island in Canada, and I took all of those recipes and spent a little bit over 2 years of my spare time putting them into a cookbook. And a local a local artist drew cartoons that tell a story that are all through the cookbook. And yeah, so you might not know that. I haven't had it published. I sent it off to some publishers, but without a celebrity endorsement, I guess it's tough to sell a cookbook these days. So it's just sitting on my shelf, but that's something that a lot of people don't know about me. If you had to attribute your success to one habit you've cultivated, what would it be and why? Well, that's an easy one. I'm goal-oriented, and I always have been. Everything I do in my life is with a purpose. Even if I'm going to watch TV, I'm doing that with the purpose of relaxing. So everything I do in life is with a purpose, and it leads me to one of my goals, and I believe that that always has been and will continue to be what helps me succeed in life. And who has been your #1 life lesson mentor? That's a tough one, but I'm going to give the title to author and businessman Michael Masterson. And then Patrick asked, what are the 3 lessons he's taught? Whew. Well, the first one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book, really is what got me into real estate investing in the first place, trying to get my money working for me. But what Michael Masterson did for me with his newsletters and books that I read was he gave me the piece that Rich Dad, Poor Dad kind of left out. In Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it really makes you feel like having a job is wrong. It's the bad thing. And quite frankly, having a job is the easiest place to start if you want to become a real estate investor. And what Michael Masterson does in his books and his teachings is teach you to be the absolute best and most valuable employee you can be so that you can accelerate everything else you're doing on your wealth creation side. And so I took his lessons and went from being a salesperson that wasn't making sales to being vice president of the company I was working for in 3 years, just by applying some of his simple principles like get to work early, do more than is asked of you at your job, and become extremely valuable. Find out what matters to that company and do it. It doesn't matter if that's part of your job at the moment or not. Become valuable. So I did that, and it really worked. One of his other principles is you have to cultivate a financially valuable skill. And his big thing is you have to learn how to sell and market. And thanks to his suggestions in some of the books I read years and years ago, I've been studying copywriting and direct marketing for years now. And I think I'll be learning it for the rest of my life. There's so much to learn. But that was all thanks to his teachings. And I think everybody really has some sort of marketing job in their lives, no matter what kind of business they're in. And finally, the last one was be yourself, but always be trying to improve yourself. And that message kind of runs through everything he teaches and writes about. So those are the 3 life lessons I've taken from Michael. Okay, last question that I'm going to answer by video. Someone comes to you dejected, down in the dumps, unsatisfied financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. What book would you suggest this person read? Well, here it is. Shawn Stevenson's Get Off Your Butt. And this book is so inspirational and motivational that I think anybody should read it, whether they're spiritually, emotionally, physically unhappy. I think it's a good read for everybody. Because Shawn Stevenson is 3 feet tall and 45 pounds, I think, and he has never ever been able to walk. He has something that's non-technically called brittle bones. And he has experienced excruciating physical pain, and yet he lives such a fulfilled and happy and positive life, and he has so many lessons to share with anybody, and I don't think you could possibly read his book and not feel inspired and happy and grateful for the life that you have. So I highly recommend it. Get Off Your Butt by Sean Stevenson. Now, go Canada, go! Thanks for interviewing me, Patrick.